Welcome to another video in my series of Makita power head videos. If you haven't seen the first video I did on the 3 power heads, the 18 volt, the 18 by 2 and the 40 volt, then I will put a link to that down in the description and up in this top corner up here. Go watch that first if you want to know all the features about the power heads themselves and all the RPM and all that sort of stuff, because this video is going to concentrate on the cultivator attachment. So I'll get it out of the box, and we'll test it with all 3 power heads. It's a big bit of box for a stick. Here's the business end. What we got? It's quite a nice made looking unit actually. It's a little bit better than I thought I was going to get when I ordered it. So that's always good. It's got a blade either side, as you can see, of the main shaft with offset teeth, and they are held on just with a pin, so easily removable and replaced. Oh, looks quite nice and well constructed. They have a guard here which is plastic, stop shit spraying in your face, and that's just held on with a couple of bolts underneath. It's pretty light. I'll look up how heavy it is because it's going to be a bit awkward to probably weigh that one. And if you want to know the model number, it's the KR401MP. That's the model number. If you want the part number, because sometimes part numbers are the way to go in some places, so it's the 199187-4. It seems to stand up quite easily by itself. Right, let's put on the 18 volt power head and give her a whirl. I'm gonna be quite evil to this thing to begin with. We're gonna start basically right here. This is essentially clay. There's a tiny bit of sort of topsoil on top at the moment, and then once you get below that, it's just this yellow clay. So probably a bit mean for this thing, but we'll see. It might be a good test to see the difference between the lower and higher voltages. All 3 tools are using freshly charged 5 amp hour batteries. The 18 volt tool of course only uses one, so it is running at 18 volts with a 5 amp hour battery, where the other 2 are running at 36 volts at 5 amp hours. I'm going straight to the evil test, straight to clay. Just going to hold it basically in one spot, let it bounce around, see how much difference there is between the 3 in regards to torque and power on actually getting through clay. 18 volt, highest setting. .36 volt. Okay, I can't stall it. The 18 was quite easy to stall. This thing, bouncing around like crazy, hard to get enough pressure down on it. It's churning things up much better. How much better will the 40 be? Well, that's pretty awesome. I never thought that it would go through the clay like that. I thought it would bounce around even more and just not be able to get into it. But that is going to be very handy for what I want it for, so I'm well impressed. I don't know if you heard in the video, but it did sort of slip at one point. It sounded like the motor slipped. Yeah, that's the 40 volt head there, and it just made a little bit of a... It struggled a bit for a second. Hopefully not going to lead to any other problems, but I was pushing it a bit. Of course I was trying to make it stall, and just like the 18 by 2 I wasn't able to do it, and that's in some pretty horrible clay. Then again, it might be easier to install in something that's softer that the tool buries itself down into faster. See if I can find something else to do, eh? It's broken it up into good sized little chunks there, which is very easy to shovel, which is nice, and much easier than trying to dig straight down into the clay, where you just end up with big clumps that are hard to spread anywhere else in the garden or anything. Whereas that's doable. Oh, that's mean. On the lowest speed, pretty quiet. Now, some of you may call this a tiller where you are. Don't worry, I won't hold it against you. If I did hold it against you, you'd certainly know about it. I need to lower the ground level here by a couple of inches, all the way sort of through here, front of these holes, and I need to do a bit of a channel through here. So I'm going to see if the cultivator can deal with all of that. I'll probably just use it on the 40 volt. I've been playing around between the 18 and the 40, and yeah, the 18 just not quite up to it when you really want to get stuck into clay. But the 236 volt ones handle it no problem. It's quite dry and hard here, so we'll see how it copes with that. Brutal. I'll try the 18 volt on some similar stuff. Yeah, the 18 volt just doesn't quite cut it for this hard stuff. That was on the top speed. The low speed, I don't even think we'll make a dent. If the ground was softer, you'd get away with it. But this is a pretty evil test, and yeah, the 18 volt just doesn't cut it. Let's have another go at the 18x2. Well, it bounces around a bit and might not be the most comfortable thing in the world to use, but that was a damn sight quicker than trying to dig 2 inches off the top. And it pulverizes it into nice fine stuff. Got some real soft composty sort of soil here, so I'm going to run the 18x2 on the lowest setting just to churn that over, see how we go. People with noisy tools, eh? Well, that's quite comfortable just going along there in the slow speed. Chooks will love that too. Come on, girls. Well, it's been hitting plenty of rocks and chunks of concrete and stuff, and the tines have held up pretty well, haven't broken any off. They don't look to be too damaged, not big chunks out of them or anything, so I'm pleased with that. When it comes to using it with the 3 different power heads, the 18 volt I find is just too easy to stall. Just doesn't really have the grunt for this. Whereas the 18x2 and the 40 volt have plenty of power, but the 40 volt just has that little bit more that seems to stop this thing from bouncing around so much. So it's much nicer to use, much less vibration, much easier on your arms to use it with the 40 volt than it is the 18x2, which was kind of surprising. So unlike something like the blower, which works perfectly well on all 3 systems, this I find I would only really want to use on the 40 volt system, to be honest. If you haven't tried the 40 volt one, then you sort of don't know. But once you've tried all 3 of them, you think, ooh, yeah, I don't want to use anything but the 40 volt one now. It comes with this tool for undoing your blades if you need to change them or sharpen them up. Looks to be a Torx 30, something like that. And if we remove this pin, we can just take off the whole assembly there. Take it off like this if you just want to sharpen it, or if you need to replace it, use the 3 bolts in there. And try and keep it clean. There's a lot of shit caked on this thing. The shaft and the blade assembly have a flat spot on them, so they line up easy, so it's not difficult to get your pin back in, which is nice, unlike the augers, which can be a bit of a pain to get on and off. So this thing's been very helpful for what I use it for. I haven't been using it probably for what other people may use it for. I know there's a big area up at my mother's place that I could use this thing to just tear all the weeds out quickly, which would be good. Overall, very happy with this thing, and I'll be using it on the 40 volt system from now on. Check out my video with the blower attachment. That's got all the information about the 3 power heads that I used in this video. And subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on the next one. I've got a heap more of these attachment videos coming up. We've got pole saws, weed eaters, hedge trimmers, that sort of stuff, scrubbers, sweepers. Yeah, I'll try and get through them all over the next few months. And until then, I will see you later. Subscribe, like, yada yada. See you. Let's see what it looks like in slow motion.